Hey you guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Lauren and I'm a nurse that's here for all your science-backed skincare reviews and also some makeup thrown in, which today is going to be a huge, I think this is my biggest ever makeup review because today I'll be talking about I think I have 14 foundations, concealers, powders. We'll be ranking my top favorite skin-like foundations that make your skin look youthful and radiant. You know, foundations that look like your skin. Also a lot of newness here today. The new one from Urban Decay, the Hydromaniac. You guys will see where that ranks. And then also new tinted moisturizers from Milani and Makeup Revolution. So many fun things to talk about. This is going to be an exciting one. Also exciting because we're in my new makeup space or filming space, whatever you want to call this. I'm now down in my basement because we're converting the old room into the nursery for the new baby, which I realized I didn't even show you guys my bump in my reveal vlog. So let me show you guys how we're looking here. Oh my gosh, I already feel so big for just being almost 21 weeks. I feel like he's gonna be a big boy. So yeah, whew, I'm in for it this time. I'm realizing also too, this shirt probably isn't the most flattering. The polka dots are not in the right places. Oh, sorry about that. Maybe if I scoot down a little lower here. But I hope you guys like the new space. I feel like the lighting's okay. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, why don't we just go ahead and get started because we have so many products to talk about. All right, so like I said in the beginning, these are all foundations that they do have lighter coverage. I have some CC creams in here, BB creams, tinted moisturizers, and some actually just skin tints. So I do like more of a light coverage foundation these days, and then I like to wear a lighter concealer on top. So in the end, I'll talk about that concealer that I've really been enjoying with these. But the one that comes 14th on the list is this new one by Milani. This is the Glow Hydrating Skin Tint. The reason this is coming in so high, so let me back up. The reason I bought this is because I saw the ingredients and squalene is very high up there. My skin is on the dry side, especially now being winter, and I think now getting older, being pregnant, I just feel like a shriveled raisin all the time. So I saw the squalene, I'm like, great, I'm gonna get some great moisture. And while this does moisturize the skin, it gives a nice dewy tint to the skin. I really like the way this looks. It's kind of heavy. And if I'm going just for a skin tint, I want it to be light enough where I could throw it on over my SPF and it's not going to feel like an extra layer of makeup, if that makes sense. So this is just a little too heavy for what I'm getting from it. I'm not getting a ton of coverage at all. This is, if anything, just sheer coverage. But if you're looking for something that's really sheer on the skin, lightweight, really moisturizing, this is nice, but it's just a little too heavy for me when I'm layering it with other products during the day. And then coming in at number 13 is this one by Catrice. This is the Clean ID Hydro BB Cream. This was new. This is newer, but it was released late last year. And while I like how this looks on the skin, there's something about the application. It's a little streaky, like the pigment doesn't go on super even. So you kind of have to work with it. Once you get it worked into your skin, it does give a nice dewy finish. But yeah, it's just a little finicky when you're working with it. The coverage is nice. It's definitely a little bit more coverage than the Milani, but I'm just not a fan of that streaky initial application. Number 12th on the list, the CoverGirl Skin Milk Foundation. Now I know this did get some negative reviews throughout the year, and I think it's because it does contain coconut oil, and a lot of people were complaining of breakouts. So if heavy duty occlusives aren't your thing, you might not like this, but I never had an issue with breakouts. I think it did get along nicely with my super dry skin. There's also some potentially irritating fragrances in here like linalool. There's also rosemary extract, so those things might bother your skin if you're sensitive, but I never had an issue with this. And what I loved about this is how lightweight it feels, but it gives such a beautiful like dewy glow to the skin. No shimmer whatsoever, but just that like healthy look, and it's super lightweight. So I really did enjoy this, but just be careful if you're sensitive. And then this new one by Makeup Revolution. This is the Super Dewy Skin Tint Tinted Moisturizer. So I'm actually really enjoying this. First of all, this is supposed to be a super dewy finish. It's only supposed to be a skin tint, but I do find that I get decent, maybe light coverage, but I've actually been reaching for this a lot. I like that it feels nice and almost like a whipped consistency on the skin. It's pretty lightweight and it feels really moisturizing. It gives a pretty dewy finish to the skin also. Also no shimmer in here, and nice ingredients, nice moisturizers with glycerin and panthenol. There's no SPF in here, but you get a ton for your money. This whole bottle is 1.8 fluid ounces, which is amazing. It's nice, but there's something about, I think it's the coverage. It doesn't give like even coverage. I always felt like my skin kind of looked a little patchy when I apply this. I do really like it. I like that dewy finish, but yeah, there's something about the unevenness of it. I wore this in a recent video that I'll link in my cards above, and I did like my skin in that video, but there's something about, yeah, it almost looked like a little patchy or something. There's something about it, but I have been reaching for this, so it's nice, but yeah, just something about that like uneven coverage. And then at the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. This is one of my top foundations. I love this so much. It gives such a beautiful, that like radiant, almost looks like there's shimmer in here, but there's not. It just makes your skin look so glowy, but not like too overdone. I love it. It's lightweight. There's a little bit of SPF in here. You're getting an SPF of 18. The coverage is nice, but I have it higher on the list because it doesn't wear the longest. It fades, actually, I'm being generous here. It fades very quickly. This only lasts like, I don't know, maybe 4 hours on me before I notice it starting to fade and I see my melasma poking through. I will say though that it fades nicely. It doesn't fade like patchy or cakey or anything. It looks like your skin, which is why I wanted to include this in this video. It is so pretty on the skin. I just wish the coverage held up a little bit longer. And then next up is this NYX BB Cream. This is so underrated. I can't believe more people don't talk about this. Well, actually I can, which is why it's higher on the list, but let me tell you the good things about it first. So it gives a pretty, I feel like this is the same pattern throughout this video, dewy, skin-like finish. The coverage is actually very surprising for a BB cream. It covers my melasma really nicely. It like blurs my imperfections. It just makes my skin look nice and even and healthy, and like I spent some time on my skincare the night before. It's a really nice flattering BB cream. I really like it. Huge negative though, there's 3 shades, which, okay, BB cream, you don't need a ton of shades, but they're all light and medium shades. I think I've bought actually the darkest shade for myself before, which is just not okay. So yeah, lots of negative points there for me for that, because I can't talk about it all the time because it's not a universal foundation that everybody can wear, which stinks. They just have to come out with some deeper skin tones in this BB cream. But yeah, it is a really nice finish on the skin. Okay, they made up for it with this foundation launch because there, I think, is there 40 shades in this launch? I'll link it below, but I'm pretty sure there's a really high shade range in this, which was great to see. But the Born to Glow foundation is so beautiful. It reminds me a lot of the Urban Decay Skin Foundation. Was it called the Skin Foundation? I think that's what it was. It was like the OG Urban Decay foundation. Everybody loved it, especially if you have dry skin. It was so liquidy and lightweight. This is what you're getting with that. It's so almost water-like, super thin. It just like melts into the skin, makes your skin look glowy and radiant. I love this. The coverage is perfect. You can build it up to medium coverage, and it just, it makes your skin look flawless. It almost looks like a full coverage foundation, but I do notice like some of my melasma pokes through it, but it is a beautiful finish nonetheless. I love it. So I definitely, this is higher on my list. I love the finish of this. Now the next foundation is so similar to this finish. I'm just ranking this a little higher because I like the packaging better. The ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation is a beautiful foundation. I keep saying beautiful, I'm sorry, but I love so many of these finishes. They really do look like your skin, and this one is no exception. Your skin will look so super dewy, but smooth. Like, it just smooths out everything on the face. It just really makes your skin look flawless without being like super high coverage. Love the finish of this. ColourPop did such a good job on this foundation. Now I'm dying to try the Tinted moisturizer, but I don't know, I like how this is just lightweight enough, but it's still, you still get that coverage. But it reminds me so much of this foundation because it's just as thin, and you can build up the pigment like you can with the NYX. But yeah, I just like this one has a pump. But yeah, this is ranking high on the list. I just love that finish of that ColourPop foundation. And then next up, the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. This foundation launch really surprised me. I think it's because I've tried other e.l.f. foundations before and I hated them. So I didn't have huge expectations with this one, but this really did blow me away. This gives a beautiful skin-like finish that blends seamlessly into the skin, like literally melts into the skin. It smooths out your pores. It's great for texture, super moisturizing. Great ingredients in here. We have collagen, we have peptides, niacinamide, and the niacinamide is actually pretty high up on the list, which was pretty impressive to see. So I just loved everything about this. SPF of 30, you're getting some great SPF coverage. The only negative, the reason this is coming in kind of towards the middle here, the coverage doesn't last the longest. It definitely fades throughout the day, so that was a big negative. Man, if they could just make it last longer. This is so great. It's super hydrating, but not too hydrating where like it still sets, it doesn't move around at all. But yeah, the coverage isn't the best, but I love the finish of this. All right, coming in at number 5, the new Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac Foundation. This is a tinted glow hydrator. This is supposed to have medium coverage. It's supposed to have up to 24-hour wear. Now, I really like the finish of this. What I love about it is the fact that it's kind of thicker. It feels like a moisturizer. So because of that thick consistency, it blurs out your pores and kind of, it goes into your fine lines, but smooths them out, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't get creasy or anything. It just really blurs everything, and it does great things for texture if you have a lot of texture. So if you deal with fine lines and wrinkles, I think this would be great for you. If you have super dry skin. I remember the first day I tried this, I'm like, oh, this probably isn't giving it the best chance because I had a couple dry patches on my face. But it like smoothed them out and it moisturized so well. It made my skin look moisturized. The finish is super dewy. If that's not your thing, you might not like this, but it really does make your skin look flawless and youthful and smoothed out. It wears really nicely. The coverage does hold up. It's obviously not a 24-hour wear. I always laugh when I see that claim, but it does wear nicely throughout the day. When it does fade, it fades just evenly. Yeah, I really like this. I will say it's kind of thick and heavy. I did not like using it with a brush. I found that, I don't know, maybe it's because of the consistency, it kind of made it look streaky, so then I had to pat it out. But what I like about this is the fact that you can use your fingers. Like your fingers almost like melt it into the skin. So it's a really great on-the-go foundation. So easy to work with, great for if you're running out the door, and I love how just flawless and healthy this makes your skin. I love that dewy finish. I hear that people with oily skin are not liking this. It gives an extra, like, they're calling greasy finish. I don't know. I feel like it makes the skin just look nice and dewy. I do really like this. I had to nick a couple points off though because of the shade. So I could not nail down a shade in this. I first bought shade 30. It was a little too light for my skin, and then I went to the next shade up, which is the shade 40. I have light medium, and this is so warm toned. It's almost like odd, like almost Oompa Loompa orange. Like it's pretty warm here, guys. So here's the Urban Decay, and here's the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. Isn't that super orangey? It is so odd. So that's the big negative for me. Like, it's so nice on the skin, but I really have to make sure I'm blending it into my neck, or I can have that like mask-like look. I will say the next shade down though was super neutral, and I should have actually stuck with that foundation, but it was a little too light for my skin tone. I was looking a little Casper-esque with it on. But yeah, the next shade up, I was just so disappointed to see that odd tone to it. So the undertone is just super off, but it does look so pretty on the skin. I'll link a recent video of where I'm wearing it. I actually wore it in a lot of my most recent videos, and that kind of helps me gauge on how I'm liking a foundation, like how often I'm reaching for it, and I really have been reaching for it a lot. I just have to make sure I blend it in because that peachy weird undertone is just so odd. All right, we're getting low on the list here. These are some really good ones. This next one, this foundation is so awesome, or hydrator, or whatever you want to call this. But this is the Tarte Maracuja Tinted Hydrator. I feel like this was big for the first like month or two that it was released, and then it kind of fell off, but it deserves so much more love than it gets. It is so seamless on the skin. It's hydrating but still lightweight. This has the maracuja oil in here, so it goes on like almost like a lightweight facial oil, but you do have like a little bit of thickness to it, but it blends into your skin so easily. It's super effortless. It gives that like wet look on your skin without looking greasy. Beautiful. I reach for this all the time. It really works well with other like vitamin C's, SPFs. It's a great like easy foundation to wear during the day. Love it. It really evens out the skin tone. I would say I get almost medium coverage with this. This really blurs out your imperfections really nicely. Love the way that it wears. I can't say enough good things about this. Love this one by Tarte. Oh, by the way, let me know if you guys have tried the new one by Tarte. There's a new tinted moisturizer. I'm like, don't they already have that? So I was gonna pick it up, but I'm like, I don't know. I love this so much. I don't even know if it would compare, but I'm kind of intrigued. I want to see how it would compare. So let me know if you guys have tried that new one. Now this is one that really surprised me. This is the Morphe Skin Tint or Morphe 2. I don't understand that. What does the number 2 mean in the Morphe brand? Somebody explain. I don't know, I'm confused, but nonetheless, the Hint Hint Skin Tint is a beautiful sheer to, what do they call this? Sheer to medium coverage tint. So they're calling it a tint, but you can build it up to medium coverage. This is so cool because it is the lightest foundation up here. Like you'll see, I'll put it on my hand. It runs down your hand literally like water. And it gives decent coverage. Like there's a lot of pigment in here. They did such a good job with this launch, and this is another one that I don't feel like gets enough love. The pigment distributes so nicely and so evenly. You're left with just like a flawless finish that has a little bit of dew to it. No shimmer, but just like some nice dewiness. Your skin looks like luminous and radiant, but not shimmery. It makes your skin look like skin, but evens everything out. I love that you can build it up to medium coverage. It's just so easy. You can throw it on with your fingers, with a brush, with a sponge, however you like to apply foundation. Love it. It's 17 bucks. You can't beat it from Ulta. Yeah, this was definitely an underrated one. I know everybody has their thing against Morphe, and yeah, they don't have, you know, some of their products are very underwhelming, shall we say. But this one, I must say, is a hidden gem in their line. I love this foundation. Love it so much. All right, getting down pretty low here. Number 2 in my ranking is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, the illumination version. And you know what? This was really hard to pick a specific formula because I love them all. I love the matte finish. I love the original CC Cream. They're all great. But if you're looking for a dewy, radiant finish, now this is definitely going to give your skin some radiance because there is some visible shimmer in here, but not from far away. But if you're looking up close at somebody, you will notice a little bit of shimmer. So if that's not your thing, you might not like this, but I love the way this looks. I used to wear the heck out of this. As you can see, I am due for another one, but as you can see, I have way too much foundation right now. I have no business buying another one. So I just wanted to mention this because I love this so much. And all these other releases haven't come close to the IT Cosmetics CC Cream formula. Something about it. First of all, you're getting an SPF of 50. So many great skin-loving ingredients. But I had to knock it to number 2 because there's essential oils in here. There's lemon peel oil in here, which my skin actually usually gets irritated by lemon peel oil. I don't know if it just balanced out by other nice soothing agents in here, but I never do get irritation from this, so I'm accepting it because my skin gets along with this foundation. But it's just such a bummer because if you're sensitive, you do, I guess, have to be careful with this foundation. But let me know. I want to hear from all the other CC Cream lovers out there. This is such a holy grail, like star, like I know everybody loves this for good reason. The one negative, if you're oily, I know a lot of people say it does slide around, it does have to be set, but the matte version is great. It sets really nicely and you still get a nice skin-like finish, and it's still hydrating. So those of you that have dry skin as well, that are looking for a matte foundation that's not super dull, like it gives your skin a skin-like finish with still being slightly matte in a way, that one's beautiful as well. I love this formula so much, and nothing really I've tried has topped this, but I don't know, I nicked a point off for the fragrance. There's nothing like this CC Cream. You're getting full coverage. Out of all these, this is probably the fullest coverage, but it still feels like a CC Cream or a BB cream. It feels lightweight and moisturizing on the skin. It fills in your lines, it's moisturizing, it never looks cakey. Just cannot say enough good things. I love this. And then my number 1 on the list, dun, 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 is the Smashbox Halo Healthy Glow All-in-One Tinted Moisturizer. This another foundation that does not get enough love. I wore the heck out of this last year. I love this and I'll still be wearing this. This gives such a beautiful, I'm wearing it today. You can see it's like super dewy, very skin-like. It wears nicely throughout the day. It feels like nothing on the face. It's very smoothing. You have an SPF of 25 in here, so it's kind of like a one and done application. I still always wear extra SPF underneath of this, but if you're just running out the door and you just want some SPF coverage, you want some blurring to your skin, this is beautiful. I love the dewiness to this. It's absolutely gorgeous. I feel like it does not get enough love. I keep bumping my head on this thing. I think I need to reposition where my chair is. But this is a beautiful finish. I love it. I love that it feels lightweight. It's moisturizing. Those of you with dry skin, I think, would really, really like this. Smashbox like kills it with their complexion products. They're, oh, what is it called? The 24-hour Hydra Foundation? Something like that. That was my #1 full coverage foundation. I need to repurchase that. I really do miss that foundation. One of the best full coverage foundations out there. But if you're looking for something for every day, just to even out your skin tone, you want your skin to have a nice little glow to it where, you know, it looks moisturized but it's not super greasy, this is beautiful. I'm loving this. Again, I've heard people with oily skin not like this so much because it doesn't really set that great and it can fade throughout the day. But if you set it with powder, it works really nicely with a ton of different powders. Which, okay, that will segue us into all the powders and the concealers that I like to wear with all these skin-like foundations. So let's talk concealers first. I'm going to mention just 2 today because it's going to be just too much, too overwhelming. But probably my favorite concealer to wear with all of these is the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. Very lightweight, but pretty high. I don't want to say very high coverage. You probably get medium. You can build up to full coverage. Just enough to cover up my melasma if I'm wearing like one of these tinted moisturizers and I just need a little something extra. But the main reason I like this, it blends in so seamlessly like to all of these formulas. Did you ever wear a concealer and it kind of, you get that like line of demarcation? It kind of separates with your foundation. This blends in seamlessly. It's beautiful. It's lightweight. I love this. The best lightweight concealer out there. Good skin loving ingredients out here. Now the one big negative, because it's so thin, it can settle into fine lines, but it doesn't set really. But my preference is to use a concealer that doesn't have that quick setting action. I actually like to be able to pat out my concealer throughout the day because when this does crease, I can just pat it out really easily and your skin still looks flawless. Like I can't stand a super dry concealer that settles instantly and it just instantly like crinkles up your skin. This does not do that. It just maintains the moisture throughout the day, which is what my dry skin needs. Just not the best though for those like deeper fine lines, but great for if you're wanting to cover up extra hyperpigmentation, if you're using one of these like lighter tinted moisturizers. Love this. Now if you want something fuller coverage and a little bit more smoothing and something that doesn't sink into fine lines, the It by Under Eye is amazing. It does not set, but it's like super thick and dewy. So again, you can like pat it out throughout the day. Sometimes you will get a tiny bit of creasing, but the fact that this is like so thick, it almost like smooths out that under eye, just like how I was talking about how the Urban Decay kind of does that action as well. And it doesn't set, it's nice and moisturizing. It kind of gives that like wet look too. I don't like a super drying concealer. So if you have dry skin, I think you will love this. And the little spit goes the longest way. You just need literally a dot and you get the full coverage from this. Love this. And then I have 2 favorite loose powders to set these more dewier consistency foundations. And that is the Glossier Water Powder. This looks like your skin. You get that airbrush finish. It doesn't look heavy or cakey. This is great. It's not going to add any extra coverage, but it's going to mattify slightly and just set it just enough. Just a great powder, but I wanted to give a more affordable option as well. This is by Essence, the My Skin Perfector, their loose setting powder or loose fixing powder it's called. This is, I have the light tone here. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. Also an airbrush finish, very finely milled. I would say it's almost finer than the Glossier powder. This is super nice. Great buy from the drugstore. Really love this. The only reason I reach for the Glossier, I think a little bit more, what color are you? This is the light medium. I think this just matches my skin tone a little better, but this is just as beautiful and I really like this to set these dewier foundations. These are both, as I throw them, they're both really nice. But alright guys, that brings us to the end of the video. I'd love to hear your input if you have more oily skin. Do any of these foundations work for you? I know some of these can be super dewy, so I'd love to hear your opinions as well. Also, those of you with dry skin, have you tried these foundations? Are there other favorites that I didn't mention? I'd love to hear from you guys as well. You know me, I love discovering new products. So that would be fun. I always love hearing your suggestions. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys all so much for all the sweet comments in my last vlog when I announced the pregnancy. You guys were all like sweet and kind, and oh my gosh, you guys are the best. I can't thank you guys enough. But thanks again for everything. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.